Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, grasshoppers. Duncan Suttles' Birthday Arena. There is a book of Duncan Suttles' games biography called Chess on the Edge, as he played a lot of hyper-modern defenses, such as G6 and G3. Apologies. Recovering from being a little bit under the weather most of the week, hindering much of my streaming ability. Sleep was needed. We are going to be as principled as possible. It claims that it is safe to play in another tab while waiting, which is true of arenas. Not so true of, well, Swiss systems. What else do we need to do before we head online here, or before we get this tournament started? Let's see about an Instagram story, perhaps. Maybe, just maybe, that's exactly what we need. Oh. Let's see here. We have only 5 players in the mix at the moment. I doubt that this other young player is actually in the mix. And we may have a time for a Sybil. We'll find out. In just a moment, we'll find out how many players we really have. Should we advertise in the main? I think we should. Should advertise in the main arena, honestly. Teams, dojo. We lost 6 members in the main team this week. Message all members, perhaps because I wasn't here. Just say in minutes. Oh. Realize I should have had a link to the other team, not a link to the individual event, but I guess we will find out who's a member and who's not in just a moment. We'll find out. Our yearly recap. Who would have known that my most frequent opponent is Ron Hay? Who would have known? We did
10,
just set aside
9,
some
8, 7, 6,
new
4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
See how this works out. In just a moment. Where is Streamlabs when I need it? Stream Elements. Interesting. Aha. Everyone was paired except for me, obviously. This looks like it was a Caro-Kann Advanced variation. Played by Charles Numero Uno. Or exchange variation, I should say. We are going to need to break the pin, probably. I meant to adjust the camera so that it wouldn't be such a drastic shift when I go to the third screen over here in a massive profile. For example, I liked it on this screen, and I may need to return to this screen. Alright, now that we have another player in the mix, we may get a pairing. Maybe not. Arya the Champ. Arya the Champ ducked out. Let's follow Charles's lead here. I do need to check to see if I promised myself that I would actually look into other defenses like E6, trying to make this variation look silly, but the main line seems to be the best way to refute this, honestly. Bishop to b4, of course, was possible. And now I don't know what he could possibly do here. Sack the bishop? Sack the knight? Could have sacked the knight. Played for something really crazy. But I feel like I've already got enough of an advantage here. With or without that. And now for something completely indifferent? I don't know. So is he threatening me in any way, shape, or form? That is the question. Rook? Pawn? Bishop? Let's just pretend as though he's not. F4. We've taken a tumble. I think we were near 2150 this week, or at least last weekend. So I wonder what happened to our rating. I don't really believe that I'm playing at that lowest strength. C'est la vie.
Chess King Siddharth.
Alright.
Can you play with me, please?
Absolutely, Chesky Siddharth. What is our opponent threatening? Is he actually threatening F4 at this stage? Bishop H6. Let's get our pawn storm moving, even if it means a terrible endgame. May well mean a terrible endgame, but we'll find out. Yes. What is he really threatening? Rook check, knight check. Letting a rook get to the 7th rank check. He has to take back with the bishop. Or does he? Maybe he doesn't have to take back with the bishop. Let's pretend as though we're going to threaten him first. See if he loses any time this way. And now we get to move. We have the F4 square coming. First things first, we have to alleviate our back rank. take care of these things. And now for something else that is completely different. How is he going to defend this pawn? That is the question. Yes. So if he captures and captures, and captures, hanging mate, thank you for joining the channel. Namaste. For those of you who have not yet subscribed to my memorable games, and you'll always be able to bishop takes,
Hanging mate. Thanks for following.
can I? Aye, aye. Let's just keep him at bay here for a moment. Just for a moment. Only for a moment. Rather than losing our actually not so atrocious pawn structure. Pawn takes. Looks like a fork. Could it be a fork? Pawn takes. Rook takes. One, two, three, four. Doesn't look so good, but it actually looks okay. Let's just boogie on over here. We are in a spot of trouble. That much is true. Will he give me another shot? Now, is it worth it? Oh no, it's not worth it. He's still hanging. He is still hanging. For what it's worth, he's still hanging. And he gets to save that one too? No! This could be very awkward, folks. Uh-oh. Check, check, and check. I can't get back in time. C'est la vie. This is just a very smooth check, 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 and check. Very sad. Very, very sad. Very sad. There goes the rest of our rating points. How do I lose to this opening? It's not possible to lose to this opening. This opening is so bad. But it's not the opening that I'm losing to. I'm losing to the player. So, for example, in this particular instance, Master Chess Dojo is black. I have about 10, less than 10 to catch up. So I score very well against this opening. Is there something even more important about this? G takes, knight takes. Knight takes e5 was not best. Knight takes e4 was very appealing. Was that really the move? Or just knight h5? Possibly. Knight h5?
Chess King Siddharth.
Knight to g4 even.
Please send me challenge.
The challenge is to join the dojo. That is the first challenge. Please join the Weekend Rapid and Classical Dojo as I play all viewers there in a structured arena. It also eliminates anyone who's had any violations on their account that cannot play rated games. That's the fascinating part, is that people can play unrated games, which all streamers seem to allow. And to me, unrated games, it doesn't really matter. This is very cool. King f1, queen h3.
Jad H. said, is there any arenas today?
King e1, queen h4. Oh, is that it? So therefore, yes, the arena today is in the Weekend Rapid and Classical. One more time on the dojo front. The knight h5 avoids the perpetual check. Basically, he can just keep shuffling back and forth. After knight g4, that's an automatic draw. In this variation, so if he plays king, then knight takes e5, rook takes d8, queen takes, king takes... What? What's wrong with the rook takes d8? Bishop e2? Knight g6, and everything seemed to be returning to the normal. Let's resume our arena. Jad 2008. So on the whole, that was a very disappointing result. Am I below 2,000 again? Oh, never mind. When I created the arena, I was 2007. I knew that I had made some great gains. I did not know what had happened to it, but let's check Charles numero uno. Here is white. It looks like he is in a Grunfeld gone wrong. Alekine Alexander.
Detective Anomaly said,
Hello. Hello, how are you, man? Seems perfectly reasonable to continue. 95.
Hoberg said, hello. Detective
Good
Anomaly.
morning, Fulberg.
Said. Just came from playing a over the board tournament. Detective Anomaly. Said. 2 5 and 4. Detective Anomaly. Said. Drawed a winning game.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Detective
Sorry to hear
Anomaly.
that. Drew a winning
Said.
game.
I am so angry and upset.
But why? This is like but a grain of sand that has stuck to your shoe, honestly. But a grain of sand bothering
Fulberg.
you.
Said.
There's absolutely
Sorry.
nothing to be concerned about,
Detective Anomaly.
honestly.
Said. Was peace up.
It's honestly all water under the bridge. The D3 square is incredibly weak, not just the C4 square. White has a lot of problems here. What happened in this game? Oh, we're playing F3. What was up with that? Oh, he didn't get bishop C4 in before knight E4. I see. And he's trying to solve his development problems this way. That's interesting. Knight to D3. King takes. Queen takes.
Detective Anomaly. Said. Can you discuss some plans or ideas in Rui Lopez, sir?
Well, there are three different options, even within the Rui Lopez system, where black is trying to hold the E5 square in many of the closed variations, like D6 and the Steinitz variation. And then there are the open variations where we are
Detective
going
Anomaly.
to play for capturing on E4
For white.
for white. So
Fulberg.
personally, there are three that I like
I
to
beat
mention
11.
to students. Beat Alekine, very good. Alyekin, I think you actually tried to pronounce it right in the spelling, Alyekin. Yes, you did beat Alyekin. That's good. So, for white, I like the Queen E2 systems. I like the exchange variations, the delayed exchange variations, and the doubly deferred exchange variations. I also like the early D4 center attack in the Rui Lopez, which Garry Kasparov also liked when he was younger. This is working out well for white. This is really working out well for white.
Jad H. Said. You must be in the arena page to get a game.
Indeed, I must be. Sorry about that. I actually thought that I was watching it from down here, which is what I thought I was doing originally, and then I failed to stay there. Versus Arya the Champ. The music is a little bit loud, don't we think? Uh-oh. Log in to Streamlabs with the Streamlabs ID. Let's do that. Found one of my bots had logged out over the last 5 days. So now we have Streamlabs in the YouTube chat. You may find, there it is, the dojo page right here for the Rapid and Classical. Please check out My Memorable Games and subscribe on YouTube if you can. That would be the most helpful number one thing that we can do to support the stream, is to subscribe. You don't have to hit the bell to notify. I don't know how much that counts, but it's nice to be white for a change. Let's work on our 2200 principled play and performance.
Detective Anomaly. Said. On morrow I have 5 games, sir. Any recommendations so that I can try to gain an advantage early on in opening?
You know, that plan of trying to gain an early advantage is somewhat gone by the wayside, if you haven't noticed, in the Gukesh Ding match, since Stockfish has determined that it's nearly impossible to gain an advantage in the opening. It's really unfortunate. Is my opponent going to play the Lasker defense with his d5 pawn hanging? I don't know. Well, that's interesting. Where is that bishop going?
Chad H. said, why am I playing a 1600?
How did I get to this place? Is there something that I should know about in this particular position? I probably shouldn't be here. That's really the number one thing I probably should be paying attention to, is that I should not be here. Now, he is trying. My opponent is indeed trying for an early c5 pawn break. We're going to continue to try to weaken his squares wherever we can. Does he have any good discoveries? If I can help it, no. He has to take back with. I was fairly certain that he had to take back with the other piece, honestly. But we will see. Do have more where this came from. I'm hoping that this pawn is also hanging, that whatever is on that square is also going to be hanging. Yes. And we do wish to go into this endgame? Or don't we? I don't know. We'll find out. In just a moment, we'll find out. If only for a moment. Wow. That is craziness, yeah? Offering a draw? I don't think so. This is turning into a very lovely game. Oh, really? Check, check. We're just going to pretend as though this is not a threat. So he has queen takes threatened next. That's a good move. Fair enough. Wow, you didn't do that? So where are you going? And what does it all mean? Banking on the safer king being the option here. In an arena, it is not always fair that there is a 1600, but we're all trying to improve together, Jed. We are all trying to improve together. We are. That's the main thing, is that we're all trying to improve together, yeah?
Jad H. said, I know, but I'm risking my ELO to play, haha.
Actually, we're never actually risking our ELO. Believe it or not, you're actually never, ever, ever risking your ELO. Your ELO is like a thermometer. It only tells you the average of your playing performance at any given time. That is indeed all it really does, is prepare you one way or the other for how you're going to be playing against anyone at any given time. So when I'm playing well, my rating goes up, like my temperature if I have a fever, when I'm on fire. When I'm playing poorly, ditto. Can I do it this way? Let's just see what we get.
Said, yeah, but if I beat a 2000 I'm getting 0 ELO, but if I drew or lose I get too much.
Is this really true, though? But it'll all average out. The secret is to be playing very consistently every day, so you'll have a real eye on your true strength, whatever your true rating is. If your rating is true, you have nothing to be concerned about. If your rating is not true, then yes, I'm going to lose my rating. Let's just say that I have a Grandmaster play on my account for 4 or 5 days. Then I can never use the account again. Right? It's unfortunate, but true. I'll never be able to use my account again, unfortunately.
Jad H. said, I'm playing
Wow.
so I'm not afraid.
Oh no!
Said,
See?
he was scared to lose to me.
He was scared to lose to me. Oh my god, I can't believe I just did that. I deservedly belong on page 2. I deservedly belong to be on page 2. Nobody will even see me here. Charles Numero Uno is playing Faubourg.
Jad H. said, Hoberg, you played well actually.
True. That's usually what it takes. I would like to analyze my game and see what went wrong. Will I have time to do that? I don't know. Bishop d6. Everything was quite lovely. So g4 was out of the question. Knight on g to e2, c5. Queen f2, bishop h7 check was best. Interesting. So bishop h7 check. I don't really believe that. How much different could it be? And then bishop f5, rook e3.
Said, could you play 10 players blindfolded?
Last week I played... Oh no, I didn't play them blindfold. That much is true. Oh, is that what I missed? That is indeed what I missed. Knight takes d5. Fair enough. Oh, I'm just not seeing the weaknesses. Where are the weaknesses? Woman, where are the weaknesses? Paraphrasing Samuel L. Jackson in The Incredibles. The original phrase.
Duncan said, or is that something only Magnus could do?
No, I mean, I can play several players blindfolded. I don't necessarily know if I would want to play 10 players blindfolded. I imagine it's only a matter of mindset, how many games you would like to play simultaneously. The better and the stronger I were to get, certainly the more players that I could do. But no, I think the record was a 30-something board simultaneous exhibition blindfolded by Alakine. Record...
Jad H. said, Arjun played 8 Masters simul blindfolded and won all.
Right. The 10 players that Magnus played that day were not all Masters. He played a variety. Record blindfold chess. Simul. So the record is 48 opponents in a 20-hour simul, blindfolded. That is the record. And the link I will post right here. The record for the number of players played blindfold on chessbase.com, the article. Timur Gareev. Now, interestingly enough, if you lose track, you can have the score sheet read back to you to refresh your memory on where you are in the position. So if that were the case, and I were able to have the record, the players read their score sheets each time. I don't know what access to game notes that he had or anything like that.
Duncan said, blindfold chess, is that something you acquire by reading chess books, or how do you acquire that skill?
But it's visualization, more or less. You don't really see the entire board. You see the compartmentalization of the board that you need to see at that time, and then you use your memory to go back and reconstruct other parts of the board. I don't believe that Magnus Carlsen has ever admitted that he could see the entirety of the board in one go. That would be quite the incredible feat. But on average, if you think about your favorite opening on the third move, right? Just go 3 moves into your favorite opening and tell me what your responses are to your opponent's 3 most popular replies. There you go. That is blindfold chess. It's right like that. So on the Italian game, after bishop c4, if they play bishop e7, I'm going to play d4. If they play knight f6, I might play d4 again. Or the fried liver with knight to g5. Or if they play bishop c5, I have a choice of c3, playing d4, d3, which is what all the grandmasters play now, or b4, the Evans gambit. Visualization is practiced routinely and often. Let's watch another game here. We have Charles Numero Uno versus Faubourg. Looks like his rating has gotten up there for rapid. He's working on 2100 now. The bishop on f5 is not really being attacked, so it looks like we can play the move f4 in this position, right? He's going for the full queen, not just the exchange. Oops. And he got the full queen.
Duncan said, how do you acquire board visualization? Is that something you get by calculating ahead a lot?
You would get it by experience, playing over the master games as frequently as you can. Really helps to improve your piece coordination visually, and then your calculation. You are asking amazingly great questions. Gulkerhand
said, Duncan to try solving puzzles blindfolded.
So we're not going to see this game? Yeah, you could also solve exercises blindfold. By the way, calculating skills can be done with any diagram, any exercise, anywhere. And you're basically going to go 3 moves ahead. I actually have a special score sheet that will be included in a book at some point in the near future of teaching techniques. I believe the teaching techniques book does not need to be very thick. Teaching Techniques Volume 1. I'm going to be very principled here. And now for something completely different. I blundered. I did. I blundered. He had queen h4. He had queen h4 check and queen takes. Piece coordination. Piece coordination. Is this true? I guess we will find out in just a moment. Knight off sides. Not too happy about the c4 square, to be honest. But it may not matter. Well, that was interesting. Battening down the old hatches. Is this true? It's true. I did not get anywhere on that one. We will be looking at that one again later. I blundered so many times in the opening that I should have lost, so a half point is very, very understandable. Alright, we have 9 or so to go in the Caro-Kann department. Then we're going to be working on another opening. And now for something completely indifferent. What do we think? Just gonna go for something relatively solid. Let's see where he goes from here. Really? You're gonna move to that direction? That turns out very interesting. Am I concerned? Yes, of course I'm concerned. I'm walking into a little bit of a trap, aren't I? The knight takes, bishop takes, pawn takes. Want to keep that knight looking lovely over there. And now for something completely indifferent. This could be awkward.
Whoa.
D5. Am I concerned? I am. I am concerned. Just worried about that weakness on C4. Where's the weakness? C4. My opponent has the better of me here. It's all I can do not to resign. Almost anything that I can do not to resign. Such a clear advantage here. Oh my gosh. I can't reveal anything just yet, as it is all perfectly clear to my opponent and I how much pain, suffering, and agony I am about to go through. But we'll work it out. We'll try to. In any event, we have to. It will have to do. It will have to do. Wow. Can I go in that direction? Okay. Yes. What? Am I still mated? It seems like it. King d4 was checkmate, to be honest. I didn't have much of a choice there.
Said. It takes for me several hours to go through a chess book page. I try to visualize it in my head, but it takes long because I keep losing track of the pieces. Is that normal when you start out reading chess books?
It is, to a great extent, normal, yes. It is very normal. I would say that you have to consider what is going on in the position every time, but you can also take an express approach. The express approach would be to play through a game in its entirety without concerning yourself with the micromedia, of what's happening. Just go through the chess page the best you can. Finally, my last rook gets into the game. Finally, my last piece gets into the game. Ba-da-ba. Am I concerned? Of course I'm concerned.
Jadage said, my time got to 10 minutes LMAO.
It got to 10 minutes? Good for you. That was pretty impressive. No, my opponent had mate. He couldn't. I couldn't do anything. I was getting checkmated by force. He did not see it, thankfully. It's time for the Nico quote. The good luck Nico quote. I was totally checkmated in that position, by the way. And I was not lying. I was totally checkmated. He had, if my king ever went to c4, knight to d2 was mate. So he played king to d3 to stop my king from going to c4, which was the mating net square. I literally had to move my king backwards if he played rook a5 check. Rook a5 check, and he could have had the whole thing moves earlier, before I had a chance to get my pieces even remotely better coordinated. So I think the moment I played e5, he had rook a5 check. I could have berserked. What would it have done for me? We're going to go with the age-old school theory. Not sure what that one did. So he gets 2 pawns for the pizza? Is this true? I guess we'll find out. How about this takes? Can I? And now for something completely indifferent? Knight takes check. We're trying our best here, folks. That's all we're trying to do. We're just trying our best. It's all we can do. So night takes... Can I win this with the safer king? That is the question. Is my king safer? That is another question. Oh, I see. Oh, fine. You got me there. Yeah. Is my king safer? Therein lies the tale. So here a check, there a check, everywhere a check, check. Is my king safer? It is official now that my king may be the safer king. With only 6 minutes left in the arena. Any checks? No checks. Oh, 10 minutes left in the arena. I forgot it was a 90-minute arena. Thought it was an 85-minute arena. Uh-oh. The sun has appeared. Officially, the sun has appeared. There is so much snow outside. We've made it to the end of our coffee. So if I win the next one, I have a chance to be in the top 3. But Jordanian Fisher, great name.
Jad H. said, I'm trying to win the most drawish position of all time.
This must be Jordanian Fisher versus the other fellow. I am hoping that you win the most drawing position of all time myself, because I won't be able to catch up to Arya Champ without you. Charles numero uno. Faubourg, very solid. Jordanian Fisher. Well, yeah, there is hope. After all, I somehow did it. I also managed to win the most drawn position of all time. So queen to A8. Curious as to who you got 10 minutes against. Now that I look at it. It is a pleasure to have you, Jordanian Fisher. I love the Antarctica flag. I had to look that one up. Not too late to get into the arena. It's not too late to get a hand in your daily training. Join the dojo. Join all 3 dojos if you care to. Maybe we will have some chess 960s at some point.
Pisikozik said, hello.
I think we have to play even more carefully. Uh-oh. Now the invasion has begun. Is it mate? Or is it just a runaround? That is the question. That's a bummer. Looks like it's a perpetual check, but it could be worse, actually. There we go. Gonna liven things up a bit on the queen side. this could be bad for us at the same time.
Dean Pisikozik said, can you go QEA?
And now the moment of truth. The real secret here is Rook H8. Yes, that is the trick. Unfortunately, he just backs his rook up, or he brings another rook in. It looks like he has a simple response.
And prepare a check attack.
A check attack, as opposed to a Hungarian attack. Oh no. He didn't play Queen F2 check either. Alright, it looks like we're doomed and destined to play Jordanian.
Jadage said, I was so confused with QH6.
Oh no. Jadage. Why is the music so loud? I wish Streamlabs didn't have it all the way cranked up. All the time? I can't even imagine if anybody could even hear me. Microphone. Desktop audio down.
Dean Pisikozik
Testing the microphone.
said, can I play? Jadage said,
Are you in yet?
if you played RF4 I can resign LOL.
If he played Queen F2 check, you might have been able to resign too. Either Rook to F4, Queen F2 check. It was very awkward. Could have played Rook F1 check. And Rook takes, and then King takes H8, and we might have been able to resign as well. But I don't think that would have been a long, drawn-out process. Alright. I did not get the Jordanian.
Said, QF2 is an endgame where I can maybe defend, but RF4 is just a rook or mate.
Yeah, you're right. So, Arya the Champ. Well, that's interesting. Suddenly we're in Ding Kukesh territory. And the Benko Gambit is white? Alright. Fair enough. Should I?
Dean Pisikozik said, well, I changed my mind, I'm not gonna play BCS, you'll destroy me, haha.
You're not gonna play because I'll destroy you is not necessarily a great reason. We're here to learn. Our primary drive, focus, and hope in life is that we will just be able to learn. So now the moment of truth. I need to keep developing.
Dean Pisikozik said, okay, I would play, but I don't know how I joined both teams.
The Rapid and Classical Dojo link. Hold the phone. If you've joined the team, copy link address is right there. The copy link address is right
Jad
there.
Said. My fourth game is where I got 10 minutes.
Okay, I want to check it out. I must check it out.
Laplace. Said. After this, can you do some puzzles and say your thought process?
Absolutely, Laplace. I enjoyed doing that quite a lot. But now, am I going to be overworked? We'll find out. Trying to gain time on this fellow as much as I can.
Dean Pisikozik. Said. Oh, the tournament is full, never mind, then he'll just watch.
It is true. It is very true that the tournament listing. So here takes. I have no idea which rook wants to go where at this moment in time. Knight g5. I can't afford to let him blockade, I don't think. But I do want to have fewer pawn islands, so how can I do that in one go? You're gonna have the same number of pawn islands, it appears. Does this do anything for me at all? Check, check, check. Isolated pawn. Rook out of the game. Really? And you went for it, eh? Going on relative and pure instinct. Just trying to improve our position to the best of our ability. That was a very interesting X-ray defense of this pawn. I did not think that I was going to get it. And now for something completely indifferent. How am I going to get something on this guy? Bishop takes, knight takes, knight f5. Knight f5, queen takes c4. Rook takes, knight takes. And now for something completely indifferent. Takes, takes, takes. Have to watch out for that square. So now we're in a knight endgame. That is very, very strange. So he's got a knight check. King over. Oh, so we're just going to trade? Or are we? Are we going to trade?
Pegasus
I get an outside pass pawn?
said, a hot endgame.
Indeed, Pegasus. Indeed. No, no, this is a king and pawn endgame where I have a slightly better chance. Just a slightly better chance of bothering my opponent. In innumerable ways. With more weaknesses. I don't think I have any time left in the arena, right? So he has this move. I don't want him to get that one. I don't mind if he has this one. But I need a future over here. Takes, 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 check. This could lead to a winning endgame. Do I need to worry? Redeeming myself on rating is the only thing.
Jad H. said,
Sylvie,
pawn endgames are so tricky sometimes.
knight endgames, king endgames, same thing. Knight endgames are the same as king endgames. Pawn endgames, not a problem. Just have to be better than your opponent by one move. Namaste, Ron Hay. Now that I can take a breath and welcome Ron into the chat. I've been missing you, buddy. I've been under the weather all week. Most of the sneezing, sniffling, and possible fever are behind me. I feel like this time of the year, with the stress of the holidays, the National Chess Championships that were at the beginning of the month, traveling to Singapore did not help.
Pegasus
Probably
Sweat
my time zone difference.
Late today.
Yeah, obviously I moved it up a notch. Every time there's a time change, I might as well take advantage of the time shift and move the tournament around a bit when I can. For the holiday, I think I had arranged it a little bit earlier. Or maybe later during the week. I think it's a little bit later during the weekday. A half an hour later during the weekday for only the 2-week period that I'm off school, because I don't have to rush out of here. But aside from that, all's good. I don't know if you saw my link in the Discord, when I think it's in the general section, about my recap. You'd never believe who my most frequent opponent was in 2024. You just you'd never guess it, Ron.
Do some hard puzzles.
Do some hard puzzles. Well, I also need to do, let's say, I also like this on average. Puzzle streak, 1 second. Let's pull this.
Way. Said, OMG.
I'm kind of curious for your Twitch 24 recap or your Lee Chess recap, what you got. Somewhere on your main page, you get your recap, your Lee Chess recap, and I'm curious if you also got. I get mated here, by the way. King e7, rook to e2 check, king f6, rook to e6 is mate. So that could suck. However, after rook to e1, rook d2 check, I just take the rook. So it looks like rook e1, I trap the rook. I trap the bishop. That should be a winning endgame. I love that aim chess forces you.
Jad H. said, puzzle streak starts to get tricky after 100.
Good job, man. For my level, puzzle streak starts to get tricky after 45. That's the funny part. That we all have our own standard. Check. Check. Pineapple Sem. Pineapple Chem. Pineapplesome. How are you? Is it because you're a poker player, Pineapplesome? Your favorite variation in poker? Someone was commenting on that the other day.
Why?
195 games MCD.
Hello there.
195 games this year.
I mean, with enough time anyone can solve any puzzle.
I disagree about the anyone. I very much disagree about the anyone. I do think that there are major blind spots that people cannot actually handle, and it makes things very, very difficult. So, pawn takes looks like the best possible move. We have both rook check and that check. Queen takes.
Jad age. Said. With enough time maybe.
Now there are common blind spots. It's just a normal blind spot problem. Like when you are stuck at a rating level, let's just say like I am, and I have been here for a period of time, my overall
hours this year on Lycus.
17 days? You have more time than me. I think I had a total of 16 days. Let me look at my Lichess, or in the general category it was... I was only 16 days and 16 hours. You couldn't have made it to 17 hours, Ron? 17 days and 17 hours? I was just rounding mine out to 16 days and 16 hours. 111,000 moves played. What do you got, sir? Those of you who can find the Discord here. I don't necessarily know if you're already in the Discord channel. But it does help. So here we have a check, and a takes, right? So yes, my chessable book will be about eliminating blind spots.
Pegasus Sway. Said.
That is
HTTPS Lycus or
my primary concern. Check, king moves, rook takes, and then what? Bishop to e1. Or is it rook check, king f2, bishop check? That seems reasonable. Actually, it gets difficult after 50, but for most students, I think it gets difficult after 40, 45, depending on their level. Are we really taking advantage of this? Knight takes, pawn takes. Bishop to a3. Knight to b4. Back rank mate. Looks pretty tough to stop. That looks like a nice fork. Nice double attack because we're attacking the rook in addition to the back rank mate in addition to this.
Depends how much time you take on puzzles. Some studies takes more than 4 hours.
Okay, but I do subscribe to John Nunn's basic treatise that if it takes you longer than a certain amount of time, you can set your own time limit. But if it takes you a certain amount of longer than a certain amount of time, it is not very practical to keep pounding in that blind spot over and over and over again. It is more worth your while to eliminate the blind spot. For example, seeing that this bishop was going here. Many people, I think, would be over-focusing on certain areas, right?
2.
Mate and 2, yes. I need to get coffee, and I am probably going to get coffee at... Just have to watch out for what is our opponent's big idea. Where are the weaknesses? But protecting the knight. Right? Got a weakness, got a weakness.
Said, can I share a puzzle fan?
Absolutely. I usually prefer that you share them in the Discord. So let me just make sure that this is the right one. Oops. That was not good. If I could only spell. In general, you can definitely share a puzzle fen. I'll copy the puzzle fen easily enough. So we've reached 50. I desperately need coffee. And so therefore, I'm going to put up my coffee emote. Anything that comes afterwards is fair game. This is a good job for a coffee emote spam by Ron. Because he has a good one from Betamaster.
Jad H. Said, OPPs I paste the wrong thing haha. Jad H. said. I joined Discord, but here is the puzzle pen anyway. Jad H. said. 7K1R2 RP25 R2 1P5 K1 R3 P1 P3 P4 2P1 Q3 2Q5 W01.
Sera-t-il possible de t'aimer plus? Je voulais te le dire, que je t'aime encore. Je t'aime aussi. Je t'aime, tu sais.
I'm also reminded that I need to do some Christmas gift wrapping. So I cannot spend, even though I have quite a number of lessons today, I cannot spend every ounce of today up here. Which seems like it might be just that, right? I might actually be up here quite a bit. So what is the story in this particular instance, yeah? This looks like it removes the defender. Thank you so much, Jed, for joining the Discord. I'm going to grab that FEN, and I will copy it quickly to a study. Oh no. You didn't get timed out, did you? By accident. I hope not. So, let me just solve while I'm solving here. Knight A6. What is our opponent's big idea, for example? Our bishop is covering. Knight H6, let's say G5 takes, Queen takes, Rook takes. You also have the more forceful this. Rook takes, rook takes. If knight takes, rook takes. This looks a lot more forceful, knight to d4. Right? Knight to d4, rook takes.
Jad H. said.
No.
It's not a very hard puzzle, but there is a cool idea in the puzzle which makes me like those puzzles.
Nice. I don't know if you already know, because of my social media posts in the past, but basically I also appreciate or is it rook takes c6, rook takes c6, knight d4. Why should we sack a rook? Right? So this all boils down to knight d4, rook takes. I don't see an answer here though. To rook takes. So it has to be knight h4. And he doesn't have a good answer to this. Alright, leech us. Learn,
Thanks for
study.
subscribing.
Namaste. Kimpi Prag. Kimpai, thank you so much for the gifted sub to Nightbot. Nightbot works very hard and is very underappreciated. I absolutely appreciate that gesture of thoughtfulness. Namaste. Namaste, Kimpy.
Vodka, Maximum. Shaken, not stirred.
Thank you for following and joining the channel. If you've not yet checked out the My Memorable Games, game number 2 deals with the very tedious endgame save, and I may do a follow-up on that one. Believe it or not, I would plan on doing a follow-up on that one, on being able to checkmate with 2 knights and a king. As a very good friend of my opponent in that game, ridiculed studying endgames of that type because they would never occur in real life. So therefore, when I was playing Perpetual Chess Podcaster Ben Johnson, absolutely knowing that he would never study such an endgame, thanks to Greg Shahade poo-pooing studying endgames that will never occur in real life, I sacrificed and planned ahead for an endgame in which he would not be able to win. I need to run over here and do this study for a moment. My studies and best or viewers. Aha, that's what I need. I need viewers. Oh no, this one's 2 chapters. My favorite studies doesn't work very well, right? I think I have a different one. Viewer studies. Let's see if this one is full. It is. Viewer studies 2. Add a new chapter. FEN. I think we're white. I'm not sure if we're white or if we're black. Okay, so it's white to move. White to move. My first thought is to look at all forcing moves first.
White to play and win.
So to look at the forcing moves first, we have check, king up. We can't allow queen, I don't think. And do they have any counterplay at all? They have the threat of rook to check. We might have this check. We might have that in the other sense too. Check, check. So on any normal move like queen to d4, they have queen to e8 check, and we don't like that. Or queen to d1 check. I've had the board flipped. So rook to d1, king a2. And we do have to watch out for this check, as well as this check, if that's going to be a check. So what would be the theme of this puzzle? We also have this rook going over in the first place. Rook takes c2. looks like it might be the most forcing move. Because if rook takes c2, then we get queen to d4 check. And it looks very awkward for the opponent. As queen, king moves, rook takes check, and on king b1, queen to b4 check. Or worse yet, check, check. Yep. So I think it's rook c2.
Jad Age said, it's f7 not c2 pawns are important in this study.
That's true. Rook takes f7. And what does our opponent have? Rook to h6 check. And then, oh, it's a study. I apologize, because you told me that it's a study, I am in a little bit of a spot. So after this check, then you have c6 check.
f7 is correct, but black has a defense.
Yeah, I'm worried about rook h6 check. Rook h6 check, king takes h6, c6 check. e7. And it's made on f8, so rook takes f7. By the way, I posted a great reel on my socials on Instagram, where Maurice Ashley was holding court.
Jad Age.
He was showing exercise after
Sorry
exercise.
For the misinformation, the puzzle is white to play and draw.
Oh, it is white to play and draw. Okay. Well, I don't know that you ever said it was to win. That was my fault. I assume that it's white to play and win at first. So, white to play and draw is an entirely different story. The pawn moving backwards is not a defense. So this looks like it should be very close to. If it's a draw, there are only 3 types of draws. There are the perpetual checks.
Said, white pawns moving up c2, pawn about to queening.
Indeed. So queen to d1 is a pin. So rook takes f7. I'm not as keen on drawing exercises, but I should be. I've not been in the situation enough. Rook takes f7, rook to h6, queen, king takes, c6 equals check. Queen e7. No, that doesn't work. Sorry, queen d2. Queen takes d2, check. King to h. Then we have, unfortunately, rook to b5 check. Or rook to g4 check. This is the drawback, by the way, to getting thrown into studies, is knowing which way the pawns are moving. Alright, rule number 1. So we have rook takes f7. And I feel like, obviously, that rook takes is just going to get, is just good for a loss. So the only move in reply is rook to h6 check. Rook takes f7, rook to h6 check, king takes. Unless we have another move. Can I walk away? This is another check. Winning my queen, or does it? The threat of mate is still there.
Said. RX F7 RH6KX
F3, yes. That is all correct. I don't think I can run away. F3 check. You are a master puzzle solver, by the way. I know you are because your rating is 2500 on Lichess. This is something that I need to do. Have you got the book Endgame Labyrinths with Agard? He talks a lot about these studies. And in those, rather than solving those exercises, it is far more important so now, how bad can it be? Because this is still going to be very, 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 very scary. But we can play queen to h6 check and then this check. The pawn is queening. So even if we move here, he gets to play for this check, queening with check. And then the queen gets to come back with check. So I would call this a clearance. And the only way to stop these two threats, these three threats of mate, is to have a perpetual check. Seemingly, it has to be a very useful perpetual check.
Jad H. said. Nice find, actually you got QH6 faster than me.
Well, it's a clearance, it's standard. It's one of those standard motifs. That's why I think that, I mean, not that I got it faster than you, but that's what I mean by, there are some people who would never look at that move. Believe it or not. That's where I say when you use the very loose phrase, anyone, right? Anyone.
Said. I calculated.
Well, I did suggest it.
First.
I did suggest it as a candidate move, but this move as a candidate move is far better. Because then we keep our rook on the board and we have more stuff. As a candidate move, we have a queen and rook versus a naked king. And we should be able to draw because the king is stuck in this little prison with this rook. So, Jad, the premise that I really, really expound upon is that all the average players in the world, you and I may do it faster differently, but all the average players in the world just have to scoop up all of the candidate moves and then sift through them for all of the gold nuggets in the soot by the riverbed.
Said. It's not a stalemate puzzle, actually.
No, I didn't think it was a stalemate, but it looks like it should be a perpetual check. It looks like it should end in perpetual check. I don't think it can become a stalemate puzzle because there's too much stuff here. But in general.
Jad H. said. Not check.
Really? What's left besides shaking hands? Stalemate? Both flags out? Now you've got me very curious. So in theory, we really do have to play. I don't think we can allow. Oh, this pawn is going the wrong way. so maybe we can allow that. But it doesn't really matter. If king to b3, rook to... I'm sorry, if king to g6, rook to g4, king to g5, queen to g5, king to e6, rook to e... Oops. So if king to g6, rook to... king to g6, rook to g4 check, king to f5. Hold on, let me check on a lesson time here. I realize as we get closer to 10:30 that I have to pay attention.
Pegasus Sway said, QF6.
So rook to g4. If king g6, queen f6. Queen f3? I'm sorry, queen c6? That could be the easiest. So if king g6, queen c6, king g6, queen c6, rook f6, rook to g. The king cannot move to f7 because we're taking with check.
Said, just to be clear, white queen is hanging.
Oh, really? Thank you for that. So all we have to do is stop both mate threats, and then we can take the queen with a clear conscience. Queen to c6. Let's just say the king moves out. We have two mate threats that we need to avoid. So we just end it with a normal drawing position. JCM Maxwell, how are you, sir? Welcome to the dojo. Namaste. I am FIDE trainer and National Master John MacArthur. I've been at this for a very long time. Not this particular position, which also I've been at for a very long time.
Quand tu veux, on y va. Ou si tu veux rester, je reste avec toi.
So that's good. So I know when my next lesson is, at least at the moment.
La vérité, c'est que la dernière danse c'était hier soir. Mais si tu veux, on peut.
So if this rook comes back,
La vérité, c'est que je suis folle.
We could
JCL
easily,
Maxwell
just as easily, take
said,
that rook.
It's funny Bortke did the same puzzle on his stream some days ago.
Bortnick did the same puzzle? Yeah?
La nuit.
So you just came to this position and you knew that Bortnick did it. I did not know that Bortnick did it. I don't really get a chance to watch a lot of the other streamers. I have my own personal favorites, my friends. Basically, my friends that I've seen. Friends with Hikaru, Rosman. Acquaintances with Anna Kremling. Friends with Anna Maya. Friends with Nemo to a certain extent. I would say we're more acquaintances. She's very driven and motivated and businesslike. All of those that I'm friends with. Bartholomew. Alexandra. Prada. Prado. I say Prada because she's in Paris. Alexandra Prado. Alexandra Samaganova. I tend to watch all of those that I'm friends with. Known Hikaru since he was very young. So, is it really queen? Let's just say that the king moves. And we throw this check in. If the rook checks, if the rook blocks, we have two choices. We could check, check, and take. But I don't see anything dangerous for us if we were to play queen takes, rook check, king takes, and then pawn takes. Right? But white is winning. Oh no! So this is the wrong way. So in this particular example, we have to go in this direction. Nope, not that one. Give that one the question mark.
Chad H. said, if KG6 RG4 if KH5 QC5.
Queen C5. How are we covering all the mates? We still have to watch out for one mate, if not another.
Jad H. said, no, I mean KH5 instead of KG6.
Got it. Right. Exactly, because this is mate. Silly us, right? No, that's not mate. The pawn is going that way. Silliness.
Said, if KH5 after RG4 just take the queen because no mate.
All right. Exactly. Just take the queen. So queen C5 check. And for the same reason, the king can't do anything. Very nice, sir. Very, very nice. Who's the composer of this study? We should give credit to this fellow. Who is the composer of this study? Kind of hoping to take my grandson to martial arts tomorrow morning, so I have a little bit of a trick on my hands. Another reason I moved my stream up so early. In fact, I should move tomorrow morning's up 9:30.
Said, still KG6 losing and KH5 losing.
Yep. So what happened? This is supposed to be a draw, though. This is supposed to be a draw. Right? So I will, unfortunately, take the solution at this point, because I mentioned that I'm only going to give a certain amount of time to certain exercises before I need my eyes open to what I'm not seeing.
Jad H. said, there is a move after C1Q. Pegasus Sway.
Okay.
Said, here it is John https www.youtube.com watch VTYKYWO3XETAT 374.
Hold on. I paused it. I did not look at it. I brought it up. I did bring it up. This position. I didn't look at it. So, the moment of truth. I'm just so happy that Chad is here. Where are you from, Chad, by the way? Jordan? Or does that happen to be your first name, Jordan? I assume that you are Jordan.
Jad H.
Of course.
said, Jordan.
It is on my list to visit one day. So if check, queen takes check. I don't see the advantage in getting mated. A queen and a rook against a naked king. So because queen c5 check is in the lurch, it has to be queen e7. I'm sorry, queen d2. Because after queen takes, now we have king to h5. Right? So if king h5, queen c5, winning. And if king g6, rook g4, more than likely winning. We can take the queen at almost any time. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on there. Queen takes e7, king h8. So queen e7, queen takes e7, check, king h5. We're still facing two mates. So it has to be rook takes h4, king takes h4. And if we can go to the square d6, it will be a draw. So it'll be queen h6, check, queen d6. Yeah? This is the only move that will lead to the further sacrifice of even more material.
Jad
Oh,
H.
what's this? I didn't mean to
said,
click on that.
Yup, rxh4 is an alternative which draws. Jad H. said, but what if qf4?
Aha! Very cool. Very cool, because then at least we retain our options to try to win. So rook takes f4. Rook takes
Pegasus
f4.
sway. Said. Perhaps rg4. JCM Maxwell. Said. The next move is the most beautiful move of this puzzle.
Alright, I'm glad I didn't ruin it then. Or did I? So, rook
JCM
takes...
Maxwell. Said. After qf4 I mean.
And it's not a stalemate puzzle because... Well, actually, I guess it could be. No, it can't be a stalemate puzzle because this pawn can always move. Or is it?
Pegasus sway. Said. Aha, I saw the board wrong, they went the other way pawn.
Yeah, I know. I know. I've already done that like a half a dozen times, Ron. Ladies and gentlemen, Ron Hay. Long time massive supporter of the stream. He has made it all worthwhile to a certain extent in many ways because this is a relatively expensive endeavor. I don't think we can fool around here. Beauty is a little bit in the eye of the beholder, no? I am past my threshold for normally solving exercises. Or I should say, not exercises, studies. Because I believe I put studies in a very different category than exercises. Exercises, I would put in a category of doing them in order to strengthen a missing component in your game.
RxF4 is losing for white after RxF4 kg6 kg8 rb8 rf8 rb7 rf6.
Right. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Where were we? Here. Make this the main line. Now I could almost see that. Rook takes f4, rook takes f4, king to g6, king to g8. This pawn is promoting. So, we have rook to h2 check, and we have rook to g1 check. We have d4, and we have the rather ridiculous, hard to believe that it should work, king to g6. Those are the only potential moves, or is rook f8 a possibility? Rook f8, queen f8. No. The thought is there, though. Rook h2, king g1, rook r2, r7. I'm sorry. Rook h7, king g8, rook b, g7, king f8. What is going to happen after the move d4? Like, we're very close. Check.
Jad H. said. Put the line I gave in the line to understand the idea of the puzzle.
Right.
Pegasus sway.
So rook takes f4,
Said.
rook takes f4, king to
Stalemate
g6. d5. d4. Yeah, it looks like you could have a self-imposed of sorts stalemate, but the king can move over. King doesn't have to take in stalemate
sway.
with the queen on f8.
d4.
I mean, this move does look logical. But we can simply, let's just say if he plays this move. That's no good. So d4. Obviously, we were looking at this possibility. This is the possibility that we were looking at with stalemate. And therefore, it's not stalemate this way. Oh, it's not stalemate, because the king always has king g5. Silly me. Or is it? We have this check. And then this is stalemate. No, this is not stalemate. Because we can walk away. So, looking at this again with d4, make this the main line for a moment. We'll just give it the obvious move because we need to do some solving. But it's not a stalemate puzzle. That is the trick. We were told in advance, Ron, that it wasn't a stalemate puzzle. And it's not a perpetual check puzzle. So takes, c7. Pig up.
Said. Put on board RxF4, RxF4, KG6, KG8, RB8, RF8, RB7, RF6, KXF6, F2, KG6, RB8, QF8, and why is it losing?
I see. So white loses after this. Because the pawn queens with check? In one respect.
Jad Age said, if it's white turn it's in the square but there is a little d3 pawn in the road.
Exactly. I see. So, if the d3 pawn is not in the way, so we're back to the d4 idea, and the king can be in the square of the pawn. But at the same time, we also have to worry about this one.
Jad Age said, that's why d4 is the idea.
Yep. Very cool. Not just a clearance anymore. There are no checks in a way. But after rook takes f4, rook takes f4, king to g6, king to g8. Oh, but we're missing that one now. Hold on. So rook f4, rook takes f4, king g6. That's where that one went. Got it. So after d4, rook takes f4. I'm sorry, rook takes d4.
Said, RB7 idea after the check is the threat of RB7 RH7 perpetual checks.
Exactly. That's what I was missing. Exactly what I was missing. Exactly. Got it. And then we have the square of the pawn. How many people don't learn the square of the pawn and become as strong as Magnus Carlsen? I believe Magnus Carlsen learned about the square of the pawn, but it was called by something else by Seaman Actestein. We have to ask. Only Seaman Actestein would know. Very nice, sir. Very, very impressive. Wow.
Jad Age said, that's it?
And if, so for example, there was Grandmaster Repertoire, and then there's this book which is now available on Chessable. Ah! The Endgame Labyrinths. It's got quite a number of these types of studies that I think I will probably embark upon at your moment of motivation shortly. Right now on Chessable, I am trying to become the #1 in another book of tactics, basic tactics. Basically, I want to be number one in the woodpecker method, number one in the improve your chess tactics, number one in the with the most number of points in the 1001 Reinfeldt series and the 1001 Reinfeldt mate series, which I haven't finished yet. But I'm number 9. I just have to collect
Jad Age
9 times.
said, what is the chances of Magnus finding d4 before Rx f7 move 1 in a real game?
Pretty good, I think. Pretty good, I believe. I believe he has an eye for these types of things. Hold the phone here. I needed to. I never got to play you in today's arena. 1 second. So let me just go to my profile. I'm going to give you credit for that one. Jordanian Fisher without the C.
Pegasus Sway said, I think is wrong, black has draw.
You think
Jad
black
Age
is wrong?
said, thanks.
I do like to do that every now and then. I mean, I don't like to leave it untouched. There are a handful of these like this one, right? Someone gave me this one and I regret greatly that I did not
Said,
give them credit
Pegasus
for it.
Sway, it's a drawing puzzle. Pegasus Sway.
I think I was just demonstrating how to checkmate with bishop and knight here.
GM Nadia Cosent Seva.
Oh yeah? Yes, that was the video I think that Ron shared, right? I really dislike this knight to b4 idea, where they try to checkmate with the bishop. It just makes no sense to me in a way. Like right here, when we're in this position, where are we?
Pegasus Sway said, yes, but no move rf6.
Yes, but no move rf6. No?
Jad Age said, Pegasus Sway, it's a draw endgame, then rf6 is the most challenging.
Got it. It's quite cool, quite cool. I should do a Chessable study stream like Anamaya does. I feel for her greatly that she's doing so many openings on Chessable, only because it's not really, really worth it on average. But as far as our puzzle streak before I need to retire before a lesson goes, 55. Let's get our goal to 55, and then we will exit stage left. Rook takes check. Queen. Queen. That's my first thought. Check. Takes. Queen check. King moves. Queen takes. Is that enough? Is there better? Rook takes check, king d7. Rook d6, king c7. Queen f4, right? So now the moment of truth. We also have the clearance of the file. Rook check and then queen. This should not be this difficult, right, Jordanian? Jordan? Rook d6, king c7. Queen f4 looks like it should be winning no matter what.
Jad Age said, after the last one this shouldn't be challenging.
No, that's why that's the purpose of the Grandmaster training of the endgame. Just need to save our queen from being captured. For instance, we can't just play rook e1 threatening rook e7 because the rook takes queen, so we don't have much of a choice. Rook h4, queen takes h4, king takes d6, and then we can play rook f1. Looks like a pawn breakthrough, but is it worthwhile to play king d2 first, just to make sure there's no funny business? Or do we play the pawn breakthrough right away, and then the king goes back and we lose? So by process of elimination, king c5, king
Jad Age
c3, king
said,
d4.
a 5 ga 5 the black king is in square.
Indeed. By process of elimination, we found it. So here we have a check. You have another check. Here a check, there a check, everywhere a check, check. It looks as though it should be this one. Knight c4 check by intuition. My candidate moves have fallen away to the point where it is knight check. If king takes, then rook takes b3 check, followed by almost certain mate. So if knight check, king a5, rook takes, and again, looks like it's certain mate. This looks like certain mate, because we're threatening two different possible mates in a way. Are we? In order to stop rook a8 mate, we only have king a6. Or bishop a7. If bishop a7...
Pegasus Sway said, KXB5.
I was thinking that it has to be this. But after this, king takes b5, this check should be good. And then we take the bishop. And the bishop is trapped. No? Or just f6. Either way, we're just totally winning because this bishop is trapped.
Said, if a line is clearly losing, no need to calculate more losing lines.
That's correct. All right, I said we were going to end at 55, and I somewhat meant it. White to move.
Jad H. said, RG5 I think.
Yeah, rook g5 might end it. That's faster than any other move. I was just looking for any threats by the opponent, if they have any threats whatsoever. Thank you for helping out with the second on the motion. Because we can't allow queen takes g4 check. That's the main threat. And now, for something completely irreverent. We don't have to allow any funny business. Namaste, everyone. We will continue this again tomorrow if we don't do a simul in the morning immediately after. For those that want to know what exercise is next, oh, this is not good. Takes f6. b7, because when the king goes to h7, I'm sorry, g2, in that variation, if the king tried to go up, g2, check, king over, check, king takes there, pawn equals queen. But now, is it the same thing? And there is none of this. So going back to the previous one, just for the sake of continuity, we had check here, check here, check here, and the thing I'd analyzed was queening with check. Which is from a Horowitz Capablanca game. Capablanca Horowitz. Yeah, I think Capablanca was white. I can't recall. It was a Queen's Gambit decline where white hung their d4 pawn. It went all the way down to a double bishop endgame, and the very tediousness of the king and pawn ending, there was an in-between move, check with the queen, that decided it. And that was very cool. Are we going to 60? God help us. Rook takes. Rook takes.
Jad H. said, Some
Can't
puzzles
stop.
are based on some endgame theory which even GMS might not know, like I have a puzzle which ends in 2 bishops vs knight no pawns, and you have to know in the puzzle that 2 bishops can win against a single knight.
But doesn't everyone know that because of Tal's My Life in Games? Checkmate or win a material. But I think everyone should know that from Tal's
Jad H. said, 2 bishops vs knight can easily end by draw in a human game because of 50 move rule.
I have to do a little bit of a reminder for myself on the. Yep. Check, check, and takes. Can the king go anywhere else? Not that it needs to. Aha! Let's not move here. We're just up a queen after anything involving a check. Not king to f6 because a rook to d6 check, but I think it could have gone one more move further. This one we still have to find a relative. Maybe not. Maybe both of these moves are too easily the same. So, good friend Cha-Cha Chess is streaming. Hannah says I met in Paris. I failed to meet up with her in Singapore. Cha-Cha Chess is playing? Or is he watching the game? Lila Carizzi is also playing. Ketty also playing. Hannah Sace also playing. But Houseline is my favorite fellow, Matt with the hair. Let's do that. Let's raid Matt with the hair, Hannah Sace. 2 friends in one go. He was preparing his stream the other day. Thank you everyone for being here. Cheers and ciao. Awkward hair day there. Always hate when that happens. But more tomorrow or more later today if I choose to stream the titled arena. Thank you to our new followers, JCM Maxwell, Kimi, Pineapple, Jad 2008. Thank you for being here, Hanging Mate. My stream schedule is pretty resolute. It's a little bit off by half an hour, I think, if I've changed the dojo events, which I'm probably going to change the one tomorrow to 5 minutes earlier so I can take my grandson to martial arts. Tomorrow, I think it'll be 7:55 instead of 8:05. I apologize in advance. I like the 55 because it is a 5+5 game, everyone. Cheers and ciao. Have a great day. please subscribe to the YouTube if you get a chance. You don't have to ring the bell for notifications. I know how much of a bother that is with as many channels as we do subscribe to. It's almost too much. But check out my memorable games. Game number 2, I also mate with Bishop and Knight against Arthur Traldi in that. Cheers and ciao. Thank you so much.